I think maybe this storm outside is kind of yeeting Australia. It's pretty stormy here, so that's probably it. But yeah, I could tell all the lights went off. My laptop kept going on battery power for a minute, so setting it up again was pretty quick. Hopefully it doesn't cut out again. Okay, let's finish this mission. So we're mid-mission in part 1 of this stream. You didn't miss anything. I paused as soon as the power cut. I've gone behind the enemy and somehow they don't consider turning around, and I'm just shooting them from this angle. Like so. And that's like the third one I've shot. So you should see them all there. Let me just check. The stream's working fine still? Is it working fine, or is it still being funny because internet reasons? Let me know. I like this angle. Let's save because this is where it's cut out. So if it drops out again, we can at least continue from here. A few seconds ago, dropped frames. Why is it dropping frames? I think the storm might be impacting the internet. Let me type this so I'm sure it's still going through, because I'm not sure if you can see this. Is this stream working fine? Or is it buggy / cutting out a lot? Vast lizards first. Stream's fine. Thanks for that, Vinyl. That's so weird. How do I relaunch the chat in? Is it even doing it to my chat? What's happening? Like my overlay is showing me the chat, right? But when I look at Streamlabs, it's the chat inside Streamlabs is still back from the last part of the stream. But if it's working now, let's see how long it continues working for. You got no idea about Streamlabs? I don't mind Streamlabs, but I've heard a lot of people prefer OBS. I sure hope these aren't friendlies. I'm pretty sure these are the friendlies back there. But yeah, I don't want to just do an artillery strike. If I've got line of sight to the tank, it shouldn't be so hard to just put a bomb on it. I don't want to blow up the civilians. Streamlabs is packaged and ready to go from the get-go while OBS requires setting up. Not really. I did a lot of setting up in Streamlabs. I did a lot of setting up. Kind of want to snipe whoever's left around here. OBS requires more setting up. That makes sense. Hi, friend. Oh, someone hi-friended me back. Either that, or I snuck up on myself in the past. I shot my past future self. It was me all along. You thought it was AAF, but it was me, Kerry. No! Kerry, not you! It was me, all along. I like how they just completely ignore the bullets hitting them from behind. Oh yeah, it's probably someone on the front shooting. Do they really need to do so much covering fire? I saw one there. Do they really need to do so much? That's the tank, right? No, that's just the van. Let me just tab out real quick. Everything's still working. Lovely. They did it again. Yeah, sorry for that crasher. Yeah, just complete power cut. I don't know what happened. All the lights turned off, internet turned off. It probably affected the whole neighborhood. It's not my fault, but I'm still sorry, like, in a sympathetic way, if not an at-fault way. Because, like, it does impact the watching experience, sadly. Whether it's my fault or not. So at the very least, for that, I apologize. Thanks for the follow, Zombie Killer. Welcome to the stream. Ah! They're not meant to see me! I'm behind them for a reason. Is that the tank in the middle of all that? Because if that's the tank in the middle, and that's why they're offering me the mortar fire, but I don't want to use the mortar. I don't want to, like, just murder the civilians just to take out one tank. That seems a bit lame. All you saw was a Strider? Is that not what I'm aiming for then? What am I aiming for? If not a Strider, a tank. I see. As you said, moral dilemma. Not really. It's just, hey, you want to be nasty and just murder the entire village? How is that a dilemma? There's no dilemma here. Being offered a choice to just murder everyone isn't really a dilemma. It's a no-brainer. Just don't. Come on. They're already dead, so I mean... Yeah, but then... You can't be in a war if you're not at least trying to be the hero of the war, you know? Like, what's the point? It's intended to be a dilemma. Yeah, that makes sense. Is that the sound of someone stuck inside this building? What's happening? No, I'd say that's a good spot to save in case we get nothing personneled again. But like, if you're just murdering civilians in a war, like, maybe you're not on the right side if you're murdering civilians, you know? Like, consider. Murdering civilians to me is like the first sign that maybe you're on the wrong side of a war. It's not more murder, there's a law of war relating to this called the rule of proportionality. But like, you can't really be standing around claiming righteous and all that if you're just mortaring a village, you know? But you're chaotic, that's different. Like, I genuinely think if you're mortaring civilian houses, maybe you're in the wrong. If the threat of an enemy position is deemed greater than the risk of destruction to civilians or their cultural property, then you're allowed to call in stuff like fire support on them. Honestly, it just sounds like murder with extra steps added in. Murder with extra steps. Depends which one you shoot. Some people call it necessary sacrifices. But in the way, that's different. JB, please. Definitely evil. But like, put it this way, right? In a situation like... Children are often shot because they pick up an RPG and try and fire at peacekeeping forces. Well, yeah, that's different. Like, if they're armed and if they're armed and threatening you, fair enough, right? But like, if it's something like the enemy's using them as meat shields, right? In that case, I'd say there's no problem trying to shoot the enemy, right? Because they've already brought the civilians into it. But in a situation like this, where the civilians are just minding their own business in their homes or whatever, sending in the mortars, like, no, that's... You don't want to be the ones to bring the civilians into it as the casualties. But if they're already in it, skeet shooting? No! Seems like a good spot to save. Like, using them as cover or whatever they're doing. No. I do not see this as using the civilian population as cover by occupying a village. Because proximity isn't using someone as cover, but like, if you're literally, like, putting them between them. These just sound like excuses to murder civilians, please. Can we just not murder the civilians? It's definitely not necessary. I could gas the area. Forces should have evacuated the town, you say? It's their fault civilians are still here. Either way, right? From their point of view, they're not trying to, I wouldn't say they're using the civilians as cover. From their point of view, this is a place that they live and they own this place, and they're defending it. Well, we push in. I wouldn't call the civilians still being at home using them as cover. That's just proximity. Like, just because there's a civilian in a country doesn't warrant sending a nuke because you have one enemy in the area. You know what I'm saying? Just because they're nearby doesn't justify sending in the nukes. Just because that's where the enemy is. Like, I'm not talking from a legal standpoint or anything. Like, I'm not saying like technically it's okay to send in the mortar. Like, all that is it's just like military and government people telling you what you can and can't do, right? Like, whether they tell you can do it or not, sending a mortar on civilians because they're close to the enemy, no, like, that's wrong. Whether they think it's okay or not. Have I heard of Black Hawk Down? I've seen bits and pieces. Why can't I walk? Am I out of med packs? Did I not keep my 20 med packs from earlier? Ugh. I'm crippled. The real life conflict is a real eye-opener to this kind of stuff. It's too brutal to talk about on stream. Is that the tank? Did I find it? Morals get in the way of hard decisions. Yeah, it's unavoidable, but it doesn't mean you need to deliberately choose the option that's gonna lead to more deaths. You're not crippling me again. Where are they? Apparently they saw me. Pretty cool grenade. Yeah, if you put someone's head on a pike, it means you don't like them. Drastic times calls for drastic measures. These sound like excuses. These sound like excuses for murder. Mission's literally called Moral Fiber, where we... Like, if you're close enough to have line of sight, what is it to put in a little bit more effort and just make sure you blow up the specific thing you're trying to blow up rather than the whole village, you know? Will the mortars blow up the whole village? Probably not. But the casualties are clearly avoidable. There's options here, you know? It's not like you have to kill them. How many of them are going to walk away and return? I'm the only one left anyway, so I mean... My own men's casualties are avoidable too, you say? I think not with this AI. They're avoidable if I use mortars. I haven't even found the tank yet. There it is. I literally have to cross a road and plant a bomb. Otherwise, I need to call in a mortar, rip all the civilians. Prioritizing the life of your fellow servicemen over civilians. But there's no fellow servicemen here. Like, it's literally crossing a road and planting a bomb. If you're too lazy to cross a road and plant a bomb, that you'd rather call in a plane to do it for you, I mean... Literally just walk across the road, mate. Come on. Yeah, the other thing is usually a commanding officer wouldn't give you the option, you know? A commanding officer would just send it in whether you like it or not. Nothing personnel. I think they're behind me. But then it's like, it really makes you think of the morals sometimes of the people sending in. Like, who's the person giving the command to, like, kill civilians, you know? Like, how do they sleep? Sometimes you have no resources or men. How would you do it then? If you have no resources or men, maybe just like conceding the conflict is your best option, you know? Like, if you've lost, you've lost. Like, eh? You don't need to take half the town out with you. I don't like this. Yeah. How did that not work? Sometimes it causes more civilian deaths by prolonging the conflict, so that's how they sleep at night. Yeah. Personally, I can't see that as a call that I'd make, though. Like, honestly, if there's civilians there, like, you'd be better off, like, setting up camps around the village, right? And just, like, waiting them out. They'll run out of resources. It isn't an option. Of course it is. They can't stay here forever. I'm assaulting a front line. This isn't a medieval siege, but sometimes commanding officers prefer to do that. Then there's an issue. Civilians will run out of food too and starve. But is anything really stopping the civilians from just leaving? You know what, that way is not working for me, so let's just go this way. If civilians leave their houses, they'll get shot by all the gunfire. If they're being shot anyway, especially by their own people, at that point, maybe do a mortar then, you know? Pretty much fear of death. Now it's too late to change that other area firefight. Speaking of which, where is everyone in these houses? I've been through half of them and nobody's home. So I mean, I think we're imagining these people. I think they may not exist here. We must protect the ghosts. You don't. Ghost confirmed. Besides, how do they live? They don't even have like kitchens or anything around here. It's just like rooms. Bullets penetrate walls. If you shoot a guy standing next to a bullet goes through and hits a poor civilian on the other side. Yeah, but if you use a weapon that's gonna... If you have a choice of weapons, right? Use the weapon that's gonna put the civilians in the least risk. You're there to help the civilians. If you're not helping the civilians, why are you even there? The civilians should be #1 priority, not... destroying the enemy should not be #1 priority. That's all I'm saying. Walk in front of the tank because I'm not paying attention. Point blank tank round in the head. Oof. That isn't how war works, but it should be. Like, if you're not helping the civilians out at all, and you're just killing them, like, consider, 1, what's the point, and 2, maybe you're the bad guy. You may be the bad guy, yeah? If you're just using weapons and stuff that...
Stay put. We're advancing now. Out.
And apparently mortars. There's no villain in war. Yeah, but if you're not being righteous about it, like, no point. That was an autosave there from the tank. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna... The righteous don't live for very long, and that's why we have saves. Are you friendly? I don't think that's friendly. Hello? Is it just unmanned or is it friendly? Yeah, but without propaganda, who'd actually join your army? If you don't make yourself out to be on the good side, you know? Like, if you're just willy-nilly just killing civilians because you can't be bothered walking a few extra steps to take out a single tank. You know what I mean? It's not like the tank was even threatening us. It was just like kind of chilling in the middle of a town. In this case, it was. Good can be twisted, absolutely. If both sides were good, you wouldn't need war. And yet, both sides think they're good. So perhaps neither is? Question mark? My squad was on the other side of the fortifications taking fire. Well, they didn't need to be.
Crossroads. X-rays clear. Over.
Good work, Nomad. Dig in. Hold that position for now. Out.
I live here now. I flanked around, giving me a good opportunity to take out a tank. But from the front, there are less options. Well, yeah, but flanking's usually an option. Being pinned down makes moving easier said than done. Yeah, but like, either way, like, choose your battles. If your battles are going to end with the people you're trying to protect, like, all dying, maybe choose another battle. Having secured our eastern flank and supported a friendly squad, our forces were able to seize the capital and its surrounding fortifications, with enemy forces successfully cut in half and the seat of political power under our control. It's a turning point in this conflict. And you didn't even need to mortar the city. Lovely. Having taken control of the capital, Pyrgos, our offensive in the east continues. We need to kick on, using our momentum to seize the initiative. Now, although weakened, enemy forces still occupy important locations in the north and southeast of Altus. So, before they have the chance to organize and fortify these positions, we need to strike on both fronts. Talking about shooting an injured man triggered your PTSD. I'm sorry about that. Don't shoot the injured people. Although weakened, enemy forces still occupy important locations in the north and southeast of Altus. So before they have the chance to organize and fortify these positions, we need to strike on both fronts. In addition to a swift operation in the south, we'll launch a combined arms assault on Kalochori. Securing this town, alongside the solar power station, will put us in a strong position to push further into enemy-controlled territory. Time is of the essence here. For now, CSAT forces seem to be under orders not to interdict our operations. They've once again pulled back. Command is trying to work out what exactly is going on. We need to bring an end to this conflict before the global situation escalates beyond our control. So CSAT kind of just up and doubted. Unless they're flanking us on the water, across the water, and then just like yeet us from behind. But yeah, don't be sorry for leaving nuclear. Definitely not. Also that here, but it looks like we've got a front there too. In war, there is no substitute for victory. The Southern Front is explored in DLC. We might do some of the DLCs after the story. And before we start this mission, abort. Yeah, 'cause that's where I'm stopping for today. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed the stream. This is the Discord link for anyone who's interested. Stay tuned, we'll roll the credits and we'll look for somebody to raid. I hope that you enjoyed the stream. Don't be sorry, everything's fine. You missed the internet cutout, I think. Yeah, I hope you're doing okay, Nuclear. Thanks for the follow, Fluffy Crow. Actually, maybe the credits are unfair to run this time. I'll do it manually. Because the stream crash is going to not include everybody who was who followed and whatever prior, so I'll do it without the credits. So thank you to the one true wait. Thank you to Guardian D Inferno for the follow, the one true Omega Wolf for the host, the one true Omega Wolf for the follow, Zombie Killer for the follow, Lucario for the follow, and Fluffy Crow for the follow. Hey. So those are the credits. Nobody's suggested who to raid, so let's have a look who's online. Sorry if you've joined right at the end. I should stream again tomorrow. Let's see who we got. Who we got. Hmm. That's great. The 13th Seahawk. Take care, everyone. Really enjoyed your company. Also, blem. Did I just get highlighted? Bye, everyone.